Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today we are bringing you a new interesting update about the situation with the incoming corporate tax regime in UAE. If you're not familiar, we had some comments that started back at the start of the year. They were going to be introducing a 9% corporate tax starting around June 1st. 2023, although not to apply basically until a little bit later, but that's kind of the introduction date. And there was some talk of, are free zones going to be taxable? Will they not be taxable? Who will not be taxable? Obviously, lots of people move to UAE, specifically relocating in order to try and eliminate their corporate tax obligations. And so it would be a question of, is that going away? And there has been lots of different kind of speculation, etc. But we don't like to go on speculation. We like to go on the actual facts. So today I'm going to talk to you about some updates they just released yesterday. And hopefully you will find them useful and helpful. So let's just kind of run down the basics. So first of all, what they've said is freelancers and contractors will be required to register for corporate tax just like registered companies. Okay, so just because you're a freelancer or something like that, you will not be treated as an employee. So that's one important thing. Second of all, we already know that up to 370,000 dirhams, 100,000 US dollars, there will be no tax. So that's kind of a tax-free level. If people are making, 60,000, 70,000 in profit, no worries. We also know that they are going to allow qualified free zones and qualified free zone persons, as they call them, as well with qualified income to be zero tax. However, we don't know what that is defined as, okay? So that's something that we're waiting to find out. However, they did introduce a few different other things to mention. So first of all, there's some exemptions for resource companies, there's exemptions for government operated companies, as well as partially government owned or controlled entities that are operating within kind of their charter, and a few other categories such as pension funds, etc. So various different fund activities will all be exempted from corporate tax. The interesting one that may apply to a lot of our clients is there's the ability to get something called small business relief. Okay, so small business relief is for companies that are making 3 million dirhams or less in revenue per year. It's about 818,000 US dollars. That they won't have the same burdens of compliance. It's to promote startups, etc. And at the same time, they will be treated as though they have no profit. This is a little bit like what they have in Romania, a little bit more attractive because there's no tax at all. And you're in a situation where the level is now higher than the Romanian when they lowered the Romanian one. You can't, they say, just set up a whole bunch of different companies and have them each do 818,000 US dollars of revenue per year. But what you can kind of expect is this is going to allow you to structure things globally so that at least around that much, around 800 grand a year, you should be able to make tax-free, provided nothing else comes through for you. And of course, then there will be ability to have wages and some other things. So my guesstimate so far, based on what they've said, is that it should be pretty reasonable to have somewhere between 1.5 and 3 million a year in a kind of income profit that you would not be taxable on if you're structured properly, even if they decide that your free zone is going to be, your free zone company is going to be taxable. So we're going to find out kind of how that plays out when we get the further details. But I think it's generally likely that in that range, you're probably going to be pretty strong. Now, we do have some ways to structure around it regardless, as we do with many countries, and UAE is, one of the more permissive in the world. Of course, there's just plain zero personal tax entirely, and so there are some ways that we can play with that. But the bottom line is that I think it's highly likely that at least up to this level, your business will be fairly treated. It seems as though the ones that they're really interested in going after, probably because of the international pressure, let's be honest, are the multinational companies that have, say, import-export services into the country and then retail locations around the world, which is, kind of understandable. Countries don't like that their tax base is being eroded. There's some recent announcements about some of the countries taking advantage of these changes, and I'll do another video on that. But if you're a small business, at least, you're not going to be caught, at least if you're below that threshold. So I hope that helps. It gives you some updates. If you're interested in relocating to UAE, let me know. If you're interested in setting up companies around the world, if you're interested in optimizing your global tax, we are some of the top global tax experts in the world, and we're happy to help you with figuring out, what are the consequences for you if you were to move your company abroad, if you were to move yourself abroad, if you want to figure out the best solution for you. UAE might not be the best solution. It's not the best solution for a lot of people. We are very jurisdiction agnostic, so we work with clients from over 62 countries. And so if that's of interest to you, please reach out to us. You can book a call with me, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer, there's a link in the description below. Give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you on the next video.